It's day 4 of the preliminary exam in Lenawee County, Michigan, to determine whether John Skelton will go on trial for the alleged murders of his 3 sons in 2010. I'm Melissa Andrews, a crime and investigative anchor and reporter covering this case. Now, the headline, I think, today is that there is no physical evidence, according to an investigator that was on the stand in this case. This came during the testimony of Michigan State Police Detective Sergeant Michael Peterson. We're really talking here about what the case does have and what it doesn't have. Peterson said he began working on the investigation about a year to a year and a half ago. The defense asked him, "Are there any bodies?" He said no. And then they asked, "Is there any physical evidence?" And he said no. When Peterson was asked what new evidence the investigators have, the prosecution objected. Peterson ultimately pointed to the inconsistent statements made by John Skelton, and those inconsistencies were a major part of his testimony today, including an interview that happened with Skelton at Bellamy Creek Prison in November of 2025. Skelton again told him that he gave his 3 sons to people connected to what he called underground sanctuary. He said 2 people named Joanne and Virgil left with the boys around midnight going into November 26, 2010. Skelton told Peterson, "They left and I burnt everything." He said he wanted to kill himself and did not want Tanya to find the children, but he also told Peterson that he regretted giving the boys away almost immediately. So Peterson said, well, then I asked him, instead of going and killing yourself, why didn't you go try to get the kids? Well, Skelton claimed that he did drive to Holiday City around 6 or 6:30 in the morning looking for Joanne and Virgil at a diner where they said they would be staying in a truck, but they weren't there. Peterson later testified that the statement conflicts with an earlier account in which Skelton said he never left his home. The defense also challenged Peterson over his experience, bringing up the Dee Warner homicide investigation. Peterson had worked on that case as well, but the defense pointed out that investigators did eventually find Dee Warner's body, and this, to this date, is a no-body case. The line of questioning really kind of led to a tense moment in court, with the judge eventually taking the attorneys into her chambers and criticizing the defense attorney, calling him incredulous. So this remains kind of the central fight in the case, the prosecution building its case with Skelton's statements, inconsistencies, cell phone records, and testimony about his behavior. One of the other things that Detective Sergeant Peterson was doing was looking at John Skelton's computer and his Yahoo chats. And I just wanted to bring up one of the chats. It happened on November 18th of 2010 in the afternoon. And he is talking to someone and says, "It feels like Tanya is just stringing me along. She doesn't like me anymore. It's gone from bad to worse. It will all end this weekend, though." And the person says, "Well, what's this weekend?" And he says, "I'm giving up. And she wants to be alone, then she will be alone. I'm on the path to hurting her so much anyway, might as well complete the job. I am so empty without her. I resented her a lot for not helping me provide for the family, but my time in Florida helped me." And then he proceeds to he says, "My will is gone. I am empty, made preps for things to be done. Tomorrow is my last day of pain." That would have been the 19th, but the alleged suicide attempt, was not until the 26th, and the boys disappeared on the 26th. So for him to say, "Tomorrow is my last day of pain," that would have been several days prior to when the boys disappeared and that alleged suicide attempt.